As soon as I got out the police truck, I heard screaming straight away. I ran up to the side window of the unit, looked inside, and I knew we had to do something right then and there. Back through another police command on the way back to our command, and the radio fired to life with a double beep. Double beep meaning urgent job coming through. As soon as the job came through, I knew who it involved because I'd been involved with these people before, and I knew it was going to be serious. So the job came through, lady screaming for help at this address. Immediately put the lights and sirens on, got on the radio and told them we'd back up the local car crew at that job. The only trouble is, there was no local car crew. We were it. The local car crew was off for the night. So I was working with this other fellow. He's a senior fellow, but he wasn't a very confident sort of police officer. He's a bit mild and, well, I'll put it this way, didn't throw himself in the job head first like I used to. But anyway, we chuffed off to this address, pulled up in front of these units, which I'd known well because I'd been there before a few times for similar things. Heard this lady screaming, help, help, I'm going to die. I thought, oh, this is wonderful. So I ran up, had a look through the side window of the apartment, and there's a husband, and he's got a knife on her throat, starting to cut through her throat. So I immediately run to the front door, and I said to this fellow I was with, kick the front door in with me, kick the door in with me. And he's just looked at me, I said, kick the effing door. So we kicked the door and a couple of times, and he gave up, and I gave it a really good belt. And I didn't realise, but I'd actually kicked the door in and the door frame and half the wall. There was electricity leads in front of me. I've just ripped them out of my road, gone inside, crash tackled this bloke, got the knife off him, eventually handcuffed him after the usual fight and struggle that I had with him a few times before. My offsider went to have a look after his wife, who wasn't really badly injured at all. It just started cutting in a part of her throat. I just got this fellow handcuffed and pulling him to his feet when a senior sergeant pulled up with another fellow that was looking after that area that night. And at this stage, I've looked back at the damage that I've caused kicking the door in, and I've thought, done a bit of damage here. And when I had a look, we'd kicked the door in, the door jamb in, the wall in, the electricity cable had ripped a big slot all the way through the wall to the corner. There was electric wires sizzling and crackling. I thought, oh, this is unbelievable. Anyway, the senior sergeant's come up to me, he's gone, him? I said, us. He's gone, ugh. I said, there's no problem. I said, the fellow had his knife against this lady's neck, was starting to cut her throat. So we had to do it. He's gone, yeah, there's a bit of damage there. And I thought, yeah, and this is what happens when you're full of adrenaline and you've got a job to do and you just do it. You just go on autopilot. This other fella wasn't helping me kick it too much. I'm a pretty big sort of fella, so eventually I've given her a really big kick and shoved it in. But yeah, good job for the Department of Public Works the next day, no doubt, to put it all back together because it was the Department of Housing unit. The frustrating thing is I'd arrested this fellow a number of times before for assaults on his wife, and then they make friends and come to court hand in hand again. And every time there's a fight between me and this fellow, or me and my offsider and this fellow arresting him, and he gets injured, we get injured. I don't know whether something changed. That was the last time I ever went around to their address. I know they're both still kicking, so they're still around. But yeah, the job, as we call it, the job, policing, can certainly be very exciting sometimes, and it's a spur of the moment thing. It happens very quickly. There's no time to warm up. It's just go, get the job done. I suppose that's too why we get a lot of injuries, because you don't have the time to warm up like you're in a gym. you're just going from 0 to 100 flat out. But good result. The lady wasn't injured, this fellow back in custody, and not too much damage. It's a wonder I didn't get electrocuted, to tell you the truth, because I didn't realise that I was ripping on these wires that were bare, and for some reason they hadn't thrown the circuit breaker or the fuse, and they were still sizzling away when the sergeant arrived. He managed to sort that out. He's an electrician by trade, which came in handy. So a bit of paperwork when we got back to the station, though, to justify kicking the door in and doing all the damage, but everyone's happy, and the boss is no doubt very happy. So good result. If you like my stories, please go to Long Way Home, check out my other videos, and like and subscribe. Thanks, take care.